Welcome back to Glasgow, Montana, and our build of city skylines. We have a population of 40,000 people living here in Glasgow, and we did take some time to redistrict the town so that we don't have any high rises, and that helped a lot with the creation of a sense of realism. But it doesn't change the fact that we do have some traffic problems, and it feels a bit more like a big city than a small town. So, what we're going to be doing now is kind of going block by block, and we're going to start downsizing the town, and we're going to start downtown. We're going to start downtown by looking at a city block, and we're going to see what does it really look like in real life, and how many buildings are there really there. So here at the corner of 1st and 8th, in real life, there's actually only four buildings really there. There's 4 buildings, and so we're going to start decreasing the size of our downtown area here. Not the amount of land it's consuming, but the amount of buildings that are there. And we could do that by maybe placing some parks, or just dezoning maybe. So we'll start by dezoning the area that's adjacent to the alley here, because you really don't typically have anything in the alley. And I think we're going to do that We're going to do that for all of our city blocks downtown. We're just going to eliminate the part that's adjacency is to the alley, because that would be fairly true to life. Then that'll give us some space to focus more on maybe beautification. The focus of this build from here on out is going to be a lot more about trying to reduce density and reduce population as much as we can, so that the build feels like a real small town, because Glasgow is a small town, and small town Glasgow is not all about having a lot of buildings. It's not, it's not supposed to feel like a medium-sized town. It's supposed to feel like a small town. So the real challenge is how do we replicate that? How do we make it feel like that? And like this building here, this high-capacity university, it's a bit of a high-profile building, and I don't know if we necessarily want to have that there. I'm open to having some kind of a educational building there, but I'd like something a bit more low profile, and I don't know. Like that university is a lot more low profile if we did that. So we're gonna actually delete this university. And then I think we're gonna move the town hall. We're gonna put it right there, because the justice of the peace is right about there in real life. Valley County Courthouse And that fills in the spot for a courthouse quite well. And then as we look at this city block where the courthouse would be, you'd have a health department there. So, like, we'll move this crematorium over, and we'll let the crematorium kind of fill the spot for the little health department building that's there, and then we're gonna also de-zone this area entirely. And we're gonna zone a little bit of residential space there, and yeah, I think we'll put a little bit of maybe a little commerce back in there. I don't know. Actually, I think what we'll do is let's see where's our police departments. So they're the police headquarters over there. And I think we're gonna bring the headquarters of the police department back over here. That kind of makes sense. And I think I'll upgrade that alley to be a median with trees. That looks kind of good. So you have a few houses coming back in here to fill in that corner. And then I think we'll move this public library. Well, actually, let's see. Where is the library in 10? The actual library in Glasgow would be up here. So we're gonna go ahead and move the library so it's actually where it would be in real life. In real life it wouldn't be quite that large, but that's all right. We're gonna rename it. Glasgow City County Library. And Valley County Courthouse, and then we'll just call this the Justice of the Peace. That'll work out all right. And then we'll leave a few little kind of structures here. That looks kind of reasonable. But we've really lightened up the amount of density in that block quite a bit. So it looks a lot more respectful of the idea of it being kind of a small town sort of a situation there. I think I'll take out a little bit more as well. We'll unzone that too. I do want it to feel like it's a downtown area a little bit, but I want it to feel pretty open. A lot of trees, a lot of open spaces. And then we get down here and we'll have a, I don't know what it is. It's a assisted living care facility. Actually would be filling up this entire block. So we're going to go to elder care, and we're going to go ahead and place the elder care facility on this block, because that would make sense. But I don't want it to be placed right there on the street. That's the problem. That's the main problem with City Skylines. It's always got to have like everything all right up against the street, and that's not really how reality works. So we're gonna go find a. Can we find a one lane? Is there a one lane, one way road that we can find? I don't know. We're gonna try a pedestrian road. Yeah, that looks pretty good. We do have a school there, and that's all right. I don't mind it being there. We're gonna just name this pedestrian street as Prairie Ridge Village. That's what it is. Okay, so I guess we have to... See, I don't know. We have to make a pedestrian area. It's alright. I guess we'll make a pedestrian area. Prairie Ridge Village. So now what's wrong? See, that's there's no garbage service points. What does that mean? Like, that's... Garbage deliveries cannot be taken care of because the pedestrian area does not have any garbage service points. So what? See, I don't know how to make a garbage service point. Oh, okay, so we go to the Park and Plaza menu, and then we go to the pedestrian areas.
I guess the divine powers have to start recycling just like the rest of us. It just amazes me how far we've come as a species. We used to make up crazy stories about how we're reborn frogs, and then they discovered evolution, and we really did come from frogs. And now finally they're offering therapeutic psychiatry for the condition. I guess it's pretty normal for people's hop around frog brains to start playing tricks on them. You can never be too careful. This is Shoreline Radio, and I'm your host, Carolyn Chung.
Okay, so we had to place a service point there, which is okay. Seems like some of this stuff gets overcomplicated, though. Like, does it have to be that complicated to... I don't know. I'm gonna move the park over there. Another crematorium. We'll put it right there. Makes sense, I guess. Old people don't make it, then you have the death care service right there, I guess. A little morbid, but I don't know. We okay, that'll do. Then we're gonna zone some residential space there. I think that'll do it for that city block. Now let's look at this one here. This little city block is way too packed. We're gonna take out the entire middle there. And then what we're gonna do here is we're gonna alternate between houses which are positioned in the alley and some which are positioned by the street, because in real life, like, this whole area would be basically a house and then a yard. And a lot of houses are set off the street. They're not like right out there on the front road. So you're more likely to have kind of a green space toward the street and houses set off. So our goal here is to kind of eliminate probably about 50% of the zoning, with a bit more focus on eliminating the zoning that's it's by the front, by the main street. So that's thinning out the houses quite a bit. And then we're going to have to start looking at eliminating services some. Like, if we're going to have a population in this town that's kind of similar to what actually Glasgow is like, where it's a super sleepy, quiet little town, then we're going to have to figure out how to have much fewer services. Having eliminated the middle parts, those blocks, does help create that sense that it's what would I say? That they're city blocks, like that the alleyway is not its own main road, and that you can kind of see. It still looks kind of like a downtown. From a glance, though, it looks a lot more like what you'd expect of a downtown, small town to look like. Like, there's still some opportunities here, but it looks a lot better. Like, this building, fire station, is a little bit out of place. So we're going to actually demolish that entirely. I understand we do need a fire station, but we're going to make it a low profile one. That's kind of a tall building there. We're going to go ahead and de-zone it. Don't need to have any tall buildings here. Might wind up trying to do a little bit of wonder what we can do to introduce a little bit of beautification. Yeah, I kind of like that. Now, another thing I was thinking about is, what if we just, what if we delete the road entirely and replace it with a gravel path that's for pedestrians only? Because that is a lot more of the vibe of a small town, really. Because when you look at an alley in the city, you don't really see a bunch of cars parked in the alley. Like downtown, I guess you would. Yeah, I think we'll do that. Because we want to make... We want to make it feel as much like a small town as possible. And I think replacing the road alleys as dirt roads with gravel pedestrian pathways helps create that effect. Can we... I guess we can. We can make pedestrian streets without connecting them to a pedestrian area. As long as no buildings are connected to them. I don't know. Do I want to do that? I don't think so, because that really kind of, like, that defeats the entire point of the aesthetic we're trying to go after, because that looks like a street. It looks... and we're looking for a way to make it look like, really like an alley. So we're not going to do that. We're going to just do these dirt paths. And then we're going to start planting some vegetation. These are going out across the path a little bit. I don't want that. There we go. a little hard to see when it's nighttime out. I could turn the day-night cycle off if I wanted to, but I kind of like it. I'm gonna invest in a little bit of tree diversity. Definitely want to be true to the town, but we also are just kind of having some fun to try to make it feel like the kind of a place we'd want to visit. Adding trees will do that. The biggest thing we don't want is for any part of the town to feel like wall-to-wall buildings, because that's not how small towns are. They are a lot of green spaces, a lot of open spaces, a lot of grassy areas. Especially when you look at them at a high level from a glance at a distance. Now these buildings that are over here by the railroad tracks, like railroad tracks don't really have a lot next to them. Like you have a few buildings there, but mostly that wouldn't be, that wouldn't be non-stop wall-to-wall businesses there either. That would be kind of probably not really anything. Like we're gonna just other than the railway station there, like you wouldn't really have much. We're gonna just unzone that area entirely. We'll leave a few businesses right there, and then yeah, we'll take all that away. We have some good scrubby grasses. I love those. It's going to be a perfect thing for us to kind of fill this space in with. We don't have to be, we don't have to fill in every inch with them. We'll just sort of scatter the scrubby grasses around, and then we'll put in the trees intermingled with them. I wonder if we need that power line. I don't think so. One thing I was thinking about is, you know, it's kind of a pity there's not more options for like parking lots and things. And I know if this was a modded build, then there's like an infinite number of different options for that, but this is a vanilla build, so no mods for us. It just seems like it would make sense though to have options for just planting parking lots like you would parks. Eventually, we might get rid of the subway too. Because certainly a small town shouldn't need a subway system. But the subway doesn't really draw any attention to itself, so I also may leave it there just because it helps reduce traffic and
office records of fun as you take a trip to Tinseltown, Louisville, USA. Action, cut, quiet on the set. Our theaters feature music.
So there we go. That's as a business district, that looks a lot better. A lot more like a small town.
At Akio, we've been making the best of mobile phones for over 20 years. How did we get there?
I wonder what is the...
Whether you have a new phone, an old phone, or just leave it on vibrate, we make sure you always hear your phone in our commercials. It's our way of saying, we hear you. So don't be silenced when opportunity calls, pick it up. It's for you. Akio Mobile.
A weird little advertisement in the in-game music. Let's look at the How much are we paying or making off of the disaster response department?
Eleanor Wicks.
I don't know.
Thank goodness for your radio station. It's like the only station on air where you're challenging the binary distinction between good and evil. Ugh, Eleanor, don't get me started on binary. It's just so confusing. Why can't they count good and evil in base 10 like everybody else? Did you know that the number 100 in binary really just means 4? For heaven's sake, people! How are we going to keep track of good and evil if 100 is the same as 4? I'm with Eleanor. It's no wonder everybody is so confused. Binary indeed. You're listening to Shoreline Radio.
How do I get a breakdown of yeah, I'm sure that the disaster service is included in the emergency services, but I don't know exactly. So I guess it's just 640 a week, I guess. I think we're going to get rid of it. We're going to demolish the disaster services department. It'll save us some money. And I don't think we need it. And it's a big building that doesn't really fit in. And then that frees up space for us to make this more of a park area, like it's supposed to be. In fact, we could even make that we could make it a more of a, maybe a park area. Looking to see if there's a option for a tennis park. Yeah, we're gonna Let's have a little bit of fun here. See how we can make the park look nice. We'll place a park cafe and a restroom. That'd be kind of nice, wouldn't it? Food stall might be kind of cool to have. We'll put a food stall there. Couple old cannons. Sandbox. Ice cream van. Yeah, we'll put the ice cream van right here at the end of the pedestrian path. Plant a few trash bins. I don't know if they matter. They probably don't do anything other than look cool. Yes. Plop a few random picnic tables around. Yeah, that looks pretty nice.
Shoreline Radio today. I'm your host, Carolyn Chime. Don't touch that dial.
We'll plant some flowers in between the flower gardens. We're just going to kind of border this entire block with these flower bushes to kind of create the perception of a boundary. I'm gonna delete some of these big trees are kind of preventing our park from looking and feeling open. Well, we have a nice densely treed area on one end of the park, and then it opens up. Gotten a little bit dark on me.
It's another beautiful day here at Shoreline Radio, your home for great music. I'm Carolyn Shine, and we're going to keep things moving here with another favorite.
All right. Well, we could always do a little bit more with it, probably, but that fills in the void nicely as a little city park that stands out as a quality green space. I could actually put the botanical garden there. I think I will. Yeah, we're going to do that. That looks good, too. And we can put a few houses. Yeah, that ought to do it. All right. Well, that's about an hour of playtime, so we're going to call it a day on this. But we have made some good progress lowering the amount of density in our downtown area, working on the city park, and starting to work on taking steps to make our Glasgow build feel a little bit more realistic by making it look a little bit more like a small town. Because small towns don't have packed-in houses that look like they're all sandwiched together. They don't have tall buildings that are bumped up right up against each other. They don't even really have low-density buildings that are jammed up right up against each other. They have a lot of open spaces, a lot of trees, and you go through the town, and if you live there, there's a lot of amazing things to see and do, but they also tend to feel like pretty sleepy, pleasant little places that have more trees and open spaces than they have buildings. So our goal is to make our entire city here, when we're all done, feel a bit more like a park than a city. I don't know if we're going to keep the farming area just because it doesn't really fit the aesthetic and it generates so much traffic. It's ridiculous. I mean, real farms have a lot more field than they have building, and they don't generate tons and tons and tons of traffic the way this complex of farms does. So I don't know if I'm necessarily going to keep that. I may do away with it just because it's kind of obnoxious the way it generates all of this traffic for really no good reason if you were to compare it to what a real farming community would look like. So despite the fact that Glasgow does have farms around it, for the purposes of realism, we may actually wind up getting rid of the farming here, just because I don't know if that's necessarily going to help the aesthetic that we're going for. Then we're going to, in a future episode, we're going to definitely reduce the density of the houses here, because this looks a lot more like a high density kind of a city than what we would expect to see. We want to get rid of probably about 50% of these houses and replace them with green spaces. It'll be interesting to see how this all works when we're all done. So that's that, and until next time, thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.